Oh, I almost forgot my glasses. Oh.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, my
Hey.
glasses are right here too. Let's go this. It matches
Uh,
well for the hat, dude. There you go.
oh, yeah, that matches real well, bro. I
Real
like
well.
it.
Look at that,
Yeah,
boys.
yeah.
What up,
Man,
guys? Bolt Bros here.
Bolt
Let's
Bros.
we didn't do really much of a live at all for the Monday night game because it was late when we got home, and then
Yeah.
we try to put things together and everything. So we at least just did a little bit of comments because we had to take planes to get back home. So
Yeah.
so we are here to talk a little bit about the Seahawks. We don't have a guest this week because it was kind of tough for us to be able to find somebody in the last moment there. So
Yeah.
we're just going to chat about the Seahawks, kind of what we know a little bit about the Seahawks. And then we're going to talk about kind of a strategy that we might have for the Chargers. And also, let's talk a little bit about the Monday Night Football game. So we'll kind of
Yeah.
run through this kind of quickly, guys, but we love to be able to hear from you guys, questions, comments about Monday night, all that good stuff. So I was at the game with my bro, Andrew. Kyle was at work, I believe.
Yeah.
Missing out a phenomenal game.
Yeah, and I'm super jealous of that, man. Like I was just seeing everyone's like videos at like Thunder Alley and everything. I was just like getting so freaking jealous and just like feeling like every single time we got a new video from you guys, I was sinking in my seat. I'm just like, I should be there. Yeah, it's like, yeah,
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, dang work always getting in the way,
yeah, yep,
Um,
yeah. But
so
yeah, I
bummer.
mean, it was a bummer. But I went to Slater's 50/50 out in Pasadena. Like I was hoping that maybe some more of the diehard Bolt Club people were out there, but of course they all were at the game too because that's why they're diehard Bolt Club. They go to the games.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and it
So
was, man, it was going off over there at Thunder Alley and everything too, and it was pretty exciting to be able to be there, and just, man, what a good time to be able to pregame to go into the stadium through Thunder Alley. So anybody that goes to SoFi, just go to the pink lot, hang out at Thunder Alley. It's the jam. It's a great,
yep,
great time. So,
yeah, super fun.
but
Yeah,
um, let's chat a little bit about the Seahawks based upon what we know about them. And
yeah. Let's
obviously,
do it.
Pete Carroll is a solid coach. I mean, they're sitting currently at 3-3. To be honest, I'm kind of shocked that they're there.
Yeah,
I really thought that they were going to get steamrolled with Geno Smith being their guy, and they also have Drew Lock kind of waiting in the wings if they really think he's the guy too. But
yep.
um, wild to see. I mean, you can't doubt who Pete Carroll is, and I mean, you could also say we see what Russell Wilson is without being in Pete Carroll's system now too.
Yeah. Are you saying that he is him? That Pete Carroll is him?
yeah, yeah, right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's what they talked about. Who said that? Was it Wilson that said that?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
Um,
no. Yeah, but it's just that song, like, it's like
got it,
you're
got
not
it, got
him, you are not him. It's like I told her, bitch, I'm him pick playing. Something like that's the song.
Great.
Yeah.
I think I've heard that song once. I don't know. I don't really listen to the radio. I don't listen to music anymore. I'm
Oh,
over music.
well,
No, just kidding.
it's reels. It's reels, man. It's all reels. That's
Oh,
all. Yeah,
reels,
reels and
reels.
TikToks. That's all it
That's
is now.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
don't know, man, but it is an interesting thing to see how that team is operating without Russell Wilson and how the Broncos are, operating with Russell Wilson. I mean, I'll tell you this, at this moment, that trade really paid off dividends for the Seahawks. I mean,
Ish.
the amount of capital they got out of it, draft capital, and even a couple players. Man, what a fleecing of the Broncos is what I'll say. So
Yeah, right.
pretty insane. So
Yeah.
for their offense, Seahawks currently are 12th in the league, 14th in the league for passing. Geno Smith, he's not playing bad. I
Yeah, he's
mean,
doing really well.
not bad. So 1,502 yards or 1,502 yards,
Right.
9 touchdowns, 2 picks with a 108.1 rating, which is phenomenal.
Mm.
Um, I mean, in contrast, what is that, like 17,716 yards with Herbert, 10 touchdowns, 3 picks, 93.1 rating.
Oof.
Yikes. It's
Ish.
almost like Geno as a rating has been way higher than Herbert. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we're balling out with Herbert, but
Right.
it's and he's hurt a little bit too. But crazy to see that Geno Smith's been able to put together a season such as this so far. So, um, wild, wild.
Yeah,
But
super wild.
and then I know the receivers there too, Kyle. I mean, you know a little bit about those guys, right?
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, who do we got there? We got Tyler Lockett and
Yep.
DK Metcalf, dude. They're freaking lights out this year. Like they're not. They are not someone to kind of sleep on at all. Like I
No.
mean, they're both great route runners. They're good freaking catchers. And like I mean, as we kind of talked about today with your video, how what's up, Pablo? How JC Jackson is struggling, and we can have some really bad problems coming up here because of their wide receiver core. They got two really good wide receivers out there.
Right. And we'll chat a little bit further about that later on and kind of what to expect because I mean, obviously we got, situation going on with JC Jackson.
Yeah,
Asante's been doing really well. Bryce Callahan's been doing really well. Derwin James has been doing really well. Now that JC Jackson situation, Michael Davis situation, we'll chat about that a little bit later on too. So it's going to be interesting to see how we could pair up. Because I mean, the thing is though, like DK Metcalf is a pretty big receiver and he's a big dude to be able to try to cover. So it's going to be interesting to see how we could strategize against him too. So
yeah,
who knows? I mean, I always think of every time I think about DK Metcalf, I always go back to when Pete Carroll drafted him, and like DK Metcalf is like an absolute just specimen
a
as
monster. Yeah,
yeah, and his body is just straight ripped.
yep,
Apparently, he eats tons of candy all the time, and he
yeah,
just works out all the time. But
yeah,
I remember when he got drafted, he came into the room where Pete Carroll was at, and Pete Carroll took his shirt off to like try to flex on him or something like that.
yeah, yeah. Well,
And
because DK Metcalf showed up without a shirt on too, so he was like, "Oh,
right,
okay, fine. All right, I'll take off my shirt."
I'll do the same.
Yeah,
I'll do the same. I'm 70 something years old. I'll show him my muscles, kind of thing.
yeah,
So
that's right.
I thought it was pretty funny, but it'll be interesting to see how we kind of work out on those guys. I mean, it's interesting because I really said that DK Metcalf was going to be kind of a bust based upon Geno Smith, and ironically, DK Metcalf is DK Metcalf still,
Yeah,
which is really
exactly.
wild to see.
Right.
So he's still balling. He's still doing his thing. 406 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, 30 catches. I mean, it's not a bad season to kind of go into week 7. I mean, if
Mhm.
you really break that down, he'll easily get over 1,000+ yards. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so wild. My bad. I told you guys not to draft DK Metcalf, at least in a high level pick. So if I was looking at him as like a 2 or a 3 wide receiver, but
Yeah.
hey,
Well,
hopefully
I
if you
mean
have him, he's doing well.
well, I mean, that's just it though too. Like, I mean, like their quarterback situation was very uncertain at the start of this year
Big
because
time.
we knew Drew Lock was terrible,
Yep.
but when Geno Smith is also pretty unproven too. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't bother even looking their way either. I mean, I'm sure a lot of
Sure.
people didn't as well, I mean, unless they were
Yep.
Seahawks fans.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. But hey, man, the guy when you got an elite guy, he could get open and could find ways to make plays, and that's really what he is, and that's what Tyler Lockett is. I mean, they're both very good downfield guys.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it pans out. I
Yeah.
know going on to the rushing for the offense. I
Yeah.
mean, they're 11th in the league for rushing, which is crazy because their offensive line is relatively shaky
Yeah.
to be able to do that. And on top of that, they've had injuries too. I mean,
Yeah.
Rashad Penny's out.
Mhm.
Kenneth Walker came in to start last week and did pretty well.
Yeah.
He's had about 88 yards as a backup rushing a week ago, and then last week he did 98 yards, 2 catches with a touchdown for being the starter. Um, Once again, another rookie kind of going out there making plays. So
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I got really lucky then. Also on our fantasy league, it's because I immediately picked him up really quick. Actually,
nice,
so
nice.
I'm kind of like, should I? But should I play Kenneth Walker against the Chargers though? I mean, it always brings bad juju. I feel like to our team
Yeah,
when I play a player against my actual team that I love.
yeah,
I'm just kind of like, I kind of have to though, because right now in our league we're 3-3 right now.
yep,
So and like in our running backs, like even though we got freaking Henry, we got Barkley, and we got now Kenneth Walker. like
Yeah.
we had a really shaky start. So like I'm kind of like
Yeah.
I gotta play him. I gotta play him. So so
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, it sucks is if you have the defense of the team that you're playing and you have players going against your defense, it's like, it's basically canceling out points. So if we don't have the Chargers defense and he's going against us, don't really play them. Try to find somebody else to be able to be a defense because you don't want to get hurt when he scores a touchdown on you, kind of thing. And so be careful of that. I don't remember what you have for defense. Did you have the Chargers defense?
no, I didn't have no.
Oh, no.
I
Okay,
definitely
got it.
definitely don't have the Chargers defense
Got
right
it.
now. I'm
You just
sorry to
don't want
say.
to play against our team, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
It's a bad juju thing, not like
Oh,
not as a fantasy thing itself.
yep.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right. Right. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. I get it. I get it.
yeah,
But yeah, it is interesting though. Like, I mean, their offensive line is pretty bad. I mean, they really only have one player on over 63 on PFF, which is Abraham Lucas, which is the right tackle, who's a rookie. And then you got Charles Cross on the left side, who's the left tackle at 59.3 PFF, and they're kind of young on the ends.
yeah.
So that's
Exactly.
something that they got to think about. Because I mean, obviously you're going to have a lot of rush coming from us. I mean, the last game, Drew Tranquil balled out 2 sacks and just went straight through the A gap and just took out Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
Same thing happened basically with Derwin James getting that late sack against Russell Wilson
yeah.
too, in I believe overtime, I believe it was,
Hmm.
to kind of end their drive there. Um, the thing is, though, this could be the kind of same situation where they're going to attack the middle because their center is not very good too. He's
Right.
actually, and once again, we're basing this off of PFF, which is a little suspect. I mean, some of these
Yeah.
like rankings are pretty suspect, but their current center over there is Austin
Live.
Blythe.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and he's not looking so hot. 46.8 overall ranking, 362 snaps, 3 penalties, 1 sack allowed. I mean, I know this line has actually given up about 14 sacks, and they as a
Sheesh.
defense have got about 14 sacks. So they're
Yeah.
actually completely even on both sides right now.
Right.
So it'll
Mm.
be interesting to see how we attack this line, and I do expect this line to be able to get a lot of pressure on Geno Smith. Now,
Hmm.
we got to
Yeah. And
contain him still too. We
yeah.
saw Russell Wilson hurt us on running the ball
Right.
in the last game. We need to find a way to be able to contain Geno Smith. So,
Definitely. And at the
uh,
same time, like when talking about PFF stats, I mean, they got
yep,
Geno ranked as second overall in quarterbacks, like at
yeah,
80,
crazy.
86.7. He's like lighting it up. Like, it's really sneaky freaking good right now. So it's
Yep,
like, sheesh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's really weird to see that, but I mean,
Yeah.
once again, is it a system situation? And is there
Hmm.
just a really good system there in place? I
Right.
mean, when you have a guy who doesn't really have the best of offensive lines,
Right.
he's been sacked 14 times, but then he's got a really high passer rating. Geno Smith just might be playing a lot of more cautious game more than anything. He's
True.
not trying to throw the ball downfield. He's just trying to be able to get the ball out of his hands kind of quick, which is, that's a Tom Brady. That's a page out of Tom Brady's school pretty much and how he
Yeah.
plays. Get the ball out of his hands quick and just throw it to somebody, make quick decisions. Don't hold the ball that long. I mean, as you can see, Russell Wilson was a guy that likes to scatter around and run around, and then he'll end up kind of, you know, curling up in a ball sometimes and just taking the hit. And it's kind of like how Derek Carr is too.
Right.
When pressure gets in your face, you basically kind of curl up and just take the hit kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of reminded me a lot of like Phillip Rivers back in the days too,
True.
where he's a statue and he just kind of just takes it and he's not going to run away.
I
Like,
mean, in a lot of ways, like, I mean, if you're not like, training to do that little scramble stuff like that, like you might
mhm,
want to just take the sack. So that way you don't fumble the ball or throw an
of course.
interception or whatever out of duress.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
it makes sense. And, of course, it's not ever the best scenario. We wish that everyone
Yep.
could be like Patrick Mahomes, but hey, that dude's a magician.
Yeah,
So,
he is. He makes magic. He makes
mhm.
magic happen. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy. Shifting over to the Seahawks defense. I mean, this is kind of wild, but at the same side, I've always kind of felt the defense for Seahawks have been suspect for a while since
Yeah.
the Legion of Boom.
Hmm.
But I mean, that's their major struggle. 30th in league right now, giving up about 410 yards a game.
Right.
I mean, we could be eating this game quite a bit. So 22nd in the league versus the pass, giving about 245 yards a game, 31st in the league against the run, giving up about 165 yards a game. So this could be a great game for us. I mean, the thing is, though, we got Joshua Kelly. Pretty much sounds like he has a knee injury. I think it was a MCL, I believe, sprain or something like that. Which is kind of a week to week situation. Is that another soft tissue issue that Brandon Staley's going to say?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right.
But it was really odd in that last game of Monday night. I was like, why is Sony Michel on the field? Where is Joshua Kelly? And I wasn't aware that Joshua Kelly got injured and had an injury. So it sounds like he probably won't be playing this week. And Brandon Staley has stated that Larry Roundtree and Isaiah Spiller are going to have a competitive, battle this week. So
okay,
I'm really looking forward to be able to see Isaiah Spiller get out there and start showing what he could do. So, so we'll see how that kind of goes, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on, obviously.
Sure.
Tariq Woolen, cornerback for the Seahawks, has been an absolute stud for them. Thing I like about him, he's a tall cornerback, 6'4". I love seeing a guy like that. You want a guy with height. I mean, that's kind of like our Michael Davis right now for us. He's been balling out. 19 solo tackles, 4 picks. He's had a pick for every week for the last 4 weeks. He's had 5 pass defensed. He was a 5th round pick once again, a guy in a late round that just kind of gets out there later in the pick or later in the draft and makes plays. So, and I think he actually got defensive player this week or something like that. It was something to the effect that I saw, because I mean, they did have a really good game last week.
Yeah.
So that's one of the guys on there. And then also Uchenna Nwosu, a familiar name for all of us, is on
he's
the
out
Seahawks.
There. Yep. So he's edge
there,
rusher.
so.
He's doing pretty good, actually. Like he's got how many he's got like 25 combined tackles, like 3 sacks and a forced fumble. Like, man, like actually, man, no, I should not wear his hat this week for sure. Because he was out there. I have a hat signed by him, and I was like, definitely should not wear that hat this week. It's bad juju.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's actually a really cool dude, by the way.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like super nice. It's like, and he wished he was like, yeah, we'll get into playoffs next year, stuff like that, but fortunately not gonna be with us now.
Not with us.
I'm like, because this was before the trade and stuff,
it's funny about that you bring up something about a hat from an ex-Chargers player. When I was walking in the stadium, we were chatting. I was chatting. Oh man, the name's kind of out of my mind. I can't remember it right now. It was kind of earlier in the day going to Thunder Alley. But anyways, he was telling me about how he friended Denzel Perryman, and he like hung out with him somewhere or another. He went and had dinner with him and stuff. And he was like, hey man, like, can you like sign this for me? It was like some hat or something, or like send a hat to him, like merchandise or something to have him like sign it. He sent it over to him, and then he like hit up, and I guess he had Denzel Perryman's like number. And he's like, hey man, like, did you ever get that package of stuff that I want you to sign and everything? And he's like, oh yeah, like I got that hat that you sent over. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. My daughter's wearing it right now. So like, whatever. And I was like, yo,
what?
Dude, I was like, what a Raider. What a Raider, dude.
What a
Thanks
Raider.
Oh,
shoot.
Jeez. Man. I was like, that's jacked up, dude.
That's whack. That's whack, bro. Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny, but
yeah, that sounds pretty funny.
They I guess he was born to be a Raider. But
nice.
But the one thing with this defense, I mean, it's bad. It is a bad defense. I know earlier on, I believe it was Indiana Jones was talking about, he's like, hey, you know what, this could be a defensive game. Anything's possible. But if you look at the stats and look on the paper, it's probably telling us it's not going to be a defensive game. I mean, I think they are gelling more as a defense, but I don't think it could be that. It could be an offensive outburst kind of game like that they had against the Lions, where it's 48-45. And last week with the Seahawks versus the Cardinals, I mean, I think I live in Arizona, so I'm not really big fan of the Cardinals by any means, and I'm not a giant fan of Kyler Murray. And I just think that there's a lot of things out there that that team is kind of a mess. And then also Marquise Brown went down for them last week. I know they're getting uh, the DeAndre.
Mm.
What's our receiver? My gosh, why is my brain not coming together right now?
DeAndre Hopkins? No?
Hopkins is supposed to be coming back.
Okay,
They
good.
did sign Robbie Anderson too. So I mean, they're starting to try to build up that wide receiver core again. But it's the same side when you got Kyler Murray running for 100 yards. That means a lot because their run game ain't working with Benjamin and such. So
Right, right.
I don't know if it's going to be that much of a defensive game, but we will see what happens. Because I mean, once again, my biggest concern for the Chargers is that we play on other teams' levels.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating.
It's super frustrating. Yeah, like we just always want to make it close, Like I'm just like, come on, guys.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
need to get it together a little bit more, and we need to be
Hmm.
able to play our game, and that's something that I definitely feel too. So,
Yeah.
so
So,
I don't know, for just quick notes for like our strategy defensively. I think like what we talked about with their O line, they have two
yeah.
rookies on the ends. I think we could really attack them, and then Austin Blythe
Yeah.
right in the middle.
I like
I
that.
mean, he's not ranked very well. It's got a young line that's not doing so well. They're giving up a lot of sacks, so I think it's a very simple strategy: attack the line as much as you possibly can, and
Yeah.
then also with doing that, you want to contain Geno Smith and the run game too,
Hmm.
as much as you
Hmm.
can. So.
Yeah.
Um, so those are a couple things that I think defensively. I don't know if you had any ideas defensively at all, Kyle, on how to attack this team.
Yeah. That's clear right there. Like, I mean, we've got to shut down Metcalf and Lockett though, as well. Like, I
Agreed.
mean, you know, because to be honest, our cornerbacks have not been doing so hot. I mean,
Mhm.
Callahan has been really our bright spot as far as
Yep.
like corners go. Like and of course he's only a slot corner.
Yep.
But so I don't know, man. J.C. Jackson is just like there's a lot of hype, and obviously I don't know if anyone else saw that article that came out about him today.
Yep.
But he was talking about how he's really upset at himself
Yeah.
for the way he's been performing and stuff. And granted, it's understandable, like because we're all upset about it too,
Yeah.
So, um, but I mean, I would love for him to step up this game, but it's going to be a tough one for him to do that because
Mhm.
going up against DK Metcalf and Geno Smith is playing lights out. It's like. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. I mean, and if that in that regards too, like I'm curious. I mean, I kind of think we should bench him again, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe just get his mind right a little bit more cuz like maybe getting benched at halftime last game is going to light that fire under his butt to actually,
Yeah.
you know, perform better this week. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm presenting that question to you and also the guys here. Like what do you guys think? Should we actually just put JC Jackson on the bench this week because
Yeah.
it's not a favorable matchup if he's going to be not performing at his top level again.
Yep. Right. Well, and the interesting thing about it is that when we put in Michael Davis in the second half, I
Yeah,
think we only gave up, and I'm probably gonna say this incorrectly, but I want to say it was 16 or like 19 total pass yards in the second half from Russell
yeah,
Wilson.
right,
I mean, but then there was also negative yards because of on pass plays he'd get sacked and such.
right.
So I think it ended up becoming a negative amount of yards. I think it might have been -6 yards or something crazy like that. So the thing is, though, it's interesting about J.C. Jackson is that he even talked a little bit about the article I spoke on in a video that we released earlier today. It was kind of talking about just how he needs to find his confidence back. And
Yeah,
he also came out in an interview just a little while ago saying that I just feel defeated. And
yeah,
so I don't have that swagger that I want and that swagger that I'm all about. I saw a video just a little while ago about, I think it was the LA Football Network. They do a really good breakdown of like players on teams and games and how a player is playing. And he did one on JC Jackson today.
right.
Kind of went over his plays and the plays that he blew up on Monday Night Football. And the thing about it is that he's really a man corner, but they keep putting him out in like this little like cover, like kind of being a little bit further away kind of situation. So he's not allowing him to do who he is and how JC Jackson plays. He plays physical and he plays physical at the line. He likes
Yeah.
to bump the guy off the line and then force him off his route pretty much and stay with him. When he's playing the zone or this off coverage, he kind of looks lazy for some reason. Like he
Mhm.
doesn't want to just run and he doesn't understand how to run
Right.
in that kind of zone-based coverage or off coverage.
Right.
And so and he looks slower, he looks like kind of lost for some reason, but when they showed him on the man coverage, he was on him, like just like white
Right.
on rice, basically. He was just all over him the whole entire route, and he was very, very pressed on the receiver. And
Right.
that's what you want to see from the guy. And
Yeah. And that's what he's
so
good at. Yeah.
that's what he's good at. So I expect him to come in as a game plan, and even in the preseason, Brandon Staley kept saying, "Hey, we need guys that could play man. We
Right.
want guys to play man." JC Jackson fits that mold. Play him as man and just leave it at that. Like,
Right.
stop playing this off coverage with him. Stop screwing around with him. The thing is, though, that it was interesting about watching some of the highlights, and they even pointed out on the LA Football Network in the highlights, is that JC Jackson, his mannerisms after like a play of some sort is he looks defeated. So that's going to be something that we need to see because we need to see we need to see his confidence built up somewhere or another. How is that going to happen?
Right.
Well, I think what's going to happen is that he needs to get an interception. He needs
Yeah.
to bat some balls down.
Yep.
He needs to lock somebody down to be able to
Yeah.
show that, hey, I'm doing this job right now. And I get it. Like in my profession, when you feel like you're getting down on it and you're just getting destroyed and you're not winning anything, it's hard to get
No.
yourself out of that hole. It's
Definitely.
tough.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I think with JC Jackson is. And he is going to start this game, which Brandon Staley stated that too.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Well, I mean that's good. I mean, because that way, like you said, he just needs to get his groove back, and he needs to
yep,
actually get his hand on that ball in
that's all
some
I need.
way. That's all it needs, just to get his confidence back. And yeah, and he's playing in a completely different division with whole
Yep,
different opponents and stuff. So I don't know, man. So
yep,
we'll see. And so that's really my attack for the defense. Honestly, I just feel like we need to just shut down those receivers because
yep,
stick to them like white on rice. You know what I'm saying?
yep, yep.
Uh,
Exactly,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
So
Rice-A-Roni, my man. Rice-A-Roni.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Uncle Ben's instant rice, baby.
That's
Let's do it.
right. That's right. Minute rice, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
I actually use my Instapot for rice, and I make some fantastic rice out of there. Some
Mm,
garlic rice. It's
mm.
great. It's great
I,
stuff.
yeah, I use
Uh,
my Instapot for rice too. Actually, I mean,
oh man, it
yeah,
does a phenomenal
it
job.
does.
I mean,
It does, man. I don't even know. I don't get it. It's yeah.
man, times I just throw rice in there and just put a little butter on that thing when it gets in there, when it gets
Mm,
in the Instapot and
mm-hmm.
with that
Yep.
garlic and everything.
Yep.
Man, you just throw a little bit of sauce on top of that rice, and man, you are in the game right there, my man.
That's
That's
right.
some great carbs right
Welcome to the
there.
Bolt Bros Cooking Show, guys. Yeah. Yeah.
You want some Instapot recipes? I
Oh, I
got
guess-
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
All
it's
right, guys.
fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
even to say with the defense, though, JC Jackson, he's been
Mhm.
giving up some explosive plays. We need to find a way
Right.
to stop those explosive plays.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yeah.
big pass and big run plays, we need to find a way to stop those. So,
Right. Right.
but I think for you, Kyle, you want to talk a little bit offensively, some ideas that would be good kind of early in the week.
Run the damn ball. How about that?
Mhm. Yeah,
Look,
exactly.
Austin Eckler has been great the past 2 games.
Yep.
Let's just keep that momentum going. I mean, clearly, so I'm looking at their lineup as well right now.
Yeah.
Their defensive line is actually not all that fantastic
Yep.
either. So I think we should be able to to get at least 5 yards per carry. On the regular, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
I think that would be huge. Because obviously, and the biggest thing is too is Austin Eckler. He's obviously one of our. He's not an X factor because he's a
He is
definite.
the
He
factor.
is
Yeah.
the factor. Yeah, exactly. But he needs to be out there, man, and he needs
Yeah.
to be running that ball, like, let alone just to protect freaking Herbert. But obviously, as we see, like, and we know Nuwasu is actually a really good edge rusher and stuff like that, you know. So, but that looks like the left side of their line, offensively, whatever, is actually really vulnerable. And
Yeah.
so, and in a lot of ways too, that's kind of our weaker side too, because of
Mhm.
Pipkins being slightly injured as well.
Yep.
But I think we can definitely make it work, and we could
Yep.
do well, really well that way. Like, hey, like I keep preaching for this. I want to see some 1-2 personnel out there. I want to
Yep.
get
Exactly.
let's get Horvath to lead the running, and
Yep.
get some more opportunities there. You know,
Yep.
so
Agreed.
yep,
Agree. That makes a lot of sense. And I mean, the thing is, though, too, with this game, and I know we chatted about it earlier.
yeah,
Austin Eckler, Sony Michelle are kind of the two healthy backs right now. So Isaiah Spiller could make his debut this week
that'd be
if
good.
he beats out Larry Roundtree for to be able to be activated for this game. So it sucks Joshua Kelly's out because I mean, I was really looking forward to him for that Bronco game.
Yeah,
Kind of threw off our run game a lot, but the thing is, the opportunity this week is very, very ripe
right.
because I mean they are giving up 165 yards a game on the ground. So I mean,
Yeah.
just like I said earlier, I
Ooh.
mean Kyler Murray ran 100 on him last week.
Sheesh.
I mean
Yeah.
that's pretty nuts. I want to say I even saw a stat that I think it was like 8.8 or 9.8 yards that the Seattle defense is giving up per
Oh,
play.
wow.
So, I mean, that is astronomical, and that's
That's
why you're
that's
getting
wild.
400 plus yards thrown and ran on you every single game.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be interesting because I think this could be a game that we could just run the ball a ton. If
Mhm.
Isaiah Spiller really does come in and he plays well, I do get leery that he is a rookie.
Yeah.
um, Rookies make mistakes and try to do a little bit extra when they know they should not.
Yeah.
But Austin Eckler, I think, could be that guy where they could just throw it out to him on the side and let him just run and do his thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that pans out. You know, other side of the offense too.
Yeah.
Let Herbert throw downfield all last week or Monday night. I felt like it was all just these small little routes,
Yeah.
small little hacks, and
Yep.
it's not using Herbert's strengths, in my opinion. Now, once again, I do think Pat Surtain is a fantastic corner. He locked down Mike Williams pretty much that entire game. It is what it is. Find ways to be able to get him out of that coverage. Find some ways to be able to do some crossing routes or some routes where you're doing some slants, or try to find a way to be able to get him some way downfield. I think Keenan Allen will be back this week. I know he's
Yep.
practicing this week. I know they've been talking about it, but man, last week shows we really missed Keenan Allen like
Yes.
crazy. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
so we'll see how it pans out this week. I think we need this to throw the field down or ball downfield more often.
Mhm.
And we don't need to get in a back and forth game with these guys. And
No.
uh, like that Denver game. I mean, once again, big props. I mean, me and Andrew basically give big props to the Denver Broncos defenses. That defense makes offenses look really bad. And now, if their offense ever figures out a way to be able to get back into it, that team will be absolutely dangerous.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. They're 2-4, still a young season, but man, it's an uphill battle at this point for
Yeah.
them. So, but those are
Sheesh.
some of the things that I think of. I don't know if you had any other additions to the offense that you'd want to see. Oh, I would say one thing too.
Mm.
Let's have a cleaner game on the penalties, both sides of the ball. Like,
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, was that the refs trying to give the game to Russ? I kept saying I think they're just trying to give the game to Russell Wilson. But man, there was a lot of penalties in that game.
Yeah. No, it was really ridiculous on that. Like, I mean, and this whole season, not just for the Chargers alone, though. Like, all the refs have been like completely trash when it comes to, especially roughing the passer calls. Absolutely sus, man. Like, I don't get that. But
Yep.
I don't know, man. You know, the biggest thing is though too is like, I mean, I don't want to see another special teams game. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like Indian. Oh man, I keep moving my camera.
Yeah.
In
Hello.
Indiana Jones, he was saying that it was a defensive game, but I call it no. That was a special teams game. That was that was the only thing that was going on there. A freaking of course, again, hats off to freaking uh freaking Hopkins, man.
Yeah.
He just went down.
Yeah.
He just made that thing going, Shoot.
Man, I mean, dude, gut it out. Gut it
Yeah.
out. And that's exactly what he did. Now he's out for 2 to 4 weeks, and then we're gonna bring back in
Bert
Burlett. Is that how you say his last
it's
name?
Bertolet, I think, yeah.
I kept saying Burgle cut, if anybody knows Willow. So
Hey, see the new show's coming out soon though,
I
So yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm looking
But
forward to it. And
pretty sure
some of the
Bert
original cast is in there too.
yeah.
I heard that Val Kilmer is supposed to have some appearances,
Oh, no
Mad
kidding.
Mardigan in some manner. I don't know how that's gonna work, but
Uh
I don't know. We'll
And they
see.
they may kill him off though,
Yeah.
because so, I don't know if because there is a documentary on, I believe it was Amazon Prime, about that thing,
Ah.
and I don't know if you watched it, but
Mm-mm.
apparently he was he married Sorsha, the chick, that
Yeah.
he fell in love with or whatever in the
Yep.
movie. Way later, in fact, he had a crush on her even before that movie happened.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, it was like
That's
will in
funny.
the universe that they were gonna be together in something like that. But they later divorced and stuff like that, because of XYZ reasons and stuff. So
Right. Yeah.
uh, but the bigger thing is though too is I found out from that thing is that Val Kilmer has like a whole like a throat thing, like
Yeah.
a tracheotomy. Like that's why
Yep.
he didn't. That's why he really didn't have any lines in
Top
Top
Gun.
Gun. Yeah.
Yep.
So unfortunately, they may just like give him kind of a funeral thing, just like they did there or something like that.
Yep.
That yeah.
I
I
wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be
I wouldn't be
surprised either. Yeah.
or just like a painting of him and say he's this legendary character
Yeah.
that Willow used to hang out with or something
Yeah.
like that.
Something. Yeah.
Something
So
like that. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Hey, there's Andrew. He's
there's
here.
Andrew. There he
Yeah.
is.
Hey,
There he
Andrew,
is.
are you dressed up in the purple Teletubby outfit
Yeah.
again?
That's it. That's his
that
go-to.
that's his
His
go-to right
go-to.
there.
Well,
uh,
let's go over any questions
yeah, we had a
or
bunch of questions that came through, and I just kind of
cool.
been marking them. Yeah, so
Solid.
yeah. So a lot of them, Pablo. He's been Primo Pablo. He's been actually
Pablo
very
getting them. Yeah, let's
yeah.
go.
I think we kind of answered some of them.
Yeah.
But for the first one, was this: is the Slayer actually going to be back this week? And I believe the answer is yes. I think he's trending very positive. I think they even said he was feeling good last week. He could have started, but
Yeah.
they opted not to. Just give him one more week or something.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Yeah, and these hammy injuries, man, they linger,
yeah,
and it's tough to be able to just find a way to recover it. It's not easy. It's not easy like an injection that you could just throw in there and you're back to 100% or at
right,
least a 90% ish
right,
level. So it takes time,
yeah,
and I think last week they said before the Monday night game they were saying, yeah, we're just looking to get him back for the Seahawks game. And that's straight up. That's how they're trying to go. And now, once again, if he doesn't play the Seahawks game, we got a bye week,
yeah.
and he'll be back for sure after the bye week. So,
Absolutely, he will be back
yep,
after the bye week, no matter
yep.
what. And that's
But
kind of the
we need him
yeah.
back because I know Joshua Palmer went in a concussion, or at least was on the
Oh,
injury
great.
report today for concussion. So,
Ugh,
I don't know
jeez.
when that happened and how that happened, but um, we're getting short on that. I mean, Parham is also on that too for a concussion, also too. Um, also, and I guess we're kind of just raffling off the injury
Con
report here.
yeah.
Uh, Trey Pipkins was questionable for return or to practice. So I mean, he should be fine. Corey Lindsley had a stomach bug, or he got food poisoning or something like that.
Yeah, that's why he
So
missed. Yeah.
he should be back. So things are kind of we got these injury issues. Joshua Kelly is out, so I don't think he's coming back this week. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now so far. So we'll see how the week develops. I know there's other couple bruises and bumps and everything too, but I don't imagine them being any other issues. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's where we're at.
Uh, cool. Yeah, exactly. Aether, I'm not sure. I don't see your question, your comment. Maybe it's in the actual thread. If you want to look for it, James, is for the
Yeah.
maybe it was hidden. Um, because if he said like a cuss word or whatever like that, we have to kind of approve it or something like that. But
Yeah, right.
yeah, yeah,
Was it I love the defense? Yeah. Is it I love our defense the way they play on Monday night? Everyone has talked some shiz about our coach. Well,
yeah.
does anyone have something to say? Let's go then. Is it that one?
That's
And the thing
that's
about
probably
it
it.
is
Yeah,
these fans in general are very fickle. I know I chatted with Aether a little bit on this in a private message and everything, and we're just a fickle fan base, and we can't be happy about 3 game win streak. I mean, we want our wins to be able to be like, hey, we blew them out 35-3. Like, we'd love to see that. An ugly win is still a win in the column,
yep,
and that's what matters in the end. When I was at the Monday night game, we're chatting with some Broncos fans, and I was sitting there in the OT. We got upgraded to like the 200 level, which is phenomenal seats in SoFi, by the way.
Wait, how did that happen? Anyways, like I mean,
Oh,
I was like, what? What do you mean you got upgraded?
super random. So I don't remember. I think we were on the 300 level and kind of the standing area, kind of
Yeah,
like behind like the field goal posts.
right.
And yeah, we're just kind of sitting there and just kind of hanging out. Watched most of the game there and everything. Right around kind of the middle, 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This guy comes up. He's like, "Hey, is it just you two guys?" And I was like, "Yep." And they're like, "Hey, here's some tickets. It's down here in the VIP section in 200. Go down there and just go ahead and sit down." I was like, "All right." So like we went down there, and that was when Justin Herbert threw the interception or the tip pass to the interception and everything like that.
Yeah.
So we were trying to run to our seats, and then we got down there, and the girls that were sitting next to us or the row above us was friends with Meg, who is like the social media manager for
Oh,
the Chargers. And they
nice.
had this big old like picture or like a banner for Meg and like, "Oh, let's go Meg," or something like that.
That's cool.
And I kept touching the banner saying, "The power of Meg is going to make us win. Power of
Yeah,
Meg is going to make us win." And that's what it worked. So
that's right. That's awesome.
um, but that's all it was. And he's like a ticket broker for SoFi or something, and so I
Okay,
got his card and all that. And so if
nice.
we need any other tickets, we could hit him up on that. So
That's cool.
um,
That's really cool. Yeah, yeah. Dang, it's too
yeah,
bad
but
you didn't get those seats a little bit earlier because the VIP section is where you get
yeah,
actually free food, free drink and stuff, you know?
I
Yeah.
know, I know. When we were there, it was all pretty much wiped out, and I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh, that
no,
sucks."
they I don't know why, but they put it away at like at the third quarter or something like that,
Yeah,
you know? I'm like,
super
"What?
weird, super
Jerks."
weird.
Yeah, why are you doing that?
Yeah,
Eh.
but to go back to Aether's question, yeah. So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, though, these fans are really fickle, and all fans are fickle. And I think with the
Yeah.
Chargers, we have higher expectations for this team, and we expect this team to be able to, do better than they are doing. And so, Aether, I think the thing about this game Monday night is that I think we kind of expected to roll them, but at the same side, man, Denver defense is legit, man. Like
Yeah.
that team makes offenses look bad straight up. And,
Yeah.
I didn't want to see a 12-9 Colts Broncos game, but we dang near got that with a 19-16
Yeah.
Broncos game. I was wanting the Chargers defense to only give up or be under 20 points for the opposition to score, which worked out. We didn't
Yeah.
score 20 points, but
Yeah.
we found a way to win
Yeah.
in
Yep.
the end. So, but just fickle fans. And I mean, we last week we against the Browns, we won by them missing a field goal. And then this week we won the game by kicking a field goal. So um, a win is a win is a win, and I'll take it all day. And a lot of these Broncos fans over there, when I was chatting with them, they're like, I hate when games go to tie. And we don't want to see a tie game. We want to say a win or lose game, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm glad that kind of happened, that one of these teams won. And it just so happened to be the Chargers.
Yes. That
So,
makes it even better. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
So next question.
Yeah. I mean, next question here. Another one from Pablo, Primo Pablo again. How big is Corey Lindsey to this offense, though? I mean, dude,
Man,
he's huge. I mean, he
massive.
really helps that line, like get their assignments right and get their play calls right. Because like, holy smokes, dude, like, uh, he's playing at a Pro Bowl level again this year.
Yep.
Even though he's missed a couple games already, he's still like looking at his PFF. He's ranked 5th overall centers,
Yeah.
and he's freaking dominating, man. Like, I mean, he just knows that line and controls it so well, and really just like helps it out. Like,
Yep.
you know, yeah,
Y- your center is as good as like your quarterback. So meaning as in your center can really tell the quarterback what's he's seeing, and then they could adjust accordingly. Like he's the guys, the boots on the ground is the way I always feel it as, that will tell the quarterback what he's seeing. And so if you don't have a guy who could really know and understand what they're running at them defensively, it's like two minds basically come together to be able to create a game plan on field
right,
for what they're seeing. And so, Corey Lindsey's an absolute stud. He's a road grader, great pass coverage. He's just a phenomenal talent to be on there. And Will Clapp didn't play bad. Brendan Hyman's getting out there too. That was scary too, seeing that and how thin it was getting there. But
yeah, that's true.
we definitely hope that, and it should be back this week. Corey Lindsey should be back. I mean, he ate a bad burrito or something like that, and you know,
Yeah.
he got sick from it. So,
Oh yeah. Well,
but he's massive for the team.
he needs to eat more kogi. That's
Ooh, yes, please.
that's how you know you'll get good food all the time. So
That's
just
right.
get that kogi
Quality all
burrito.
the time.
That's
Yeah,
right.
man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Any
All
other
right.
questions?
Yeah, we got a bunch more. Yeah. So okay.
Cool.
And I think this we kind of may have talked about this one a little bit as well. Did you see Staley giving
Yeah.
J.C. Jackson a short leash against the Sea Chickens this weekend? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just it. Like we just talked about that a little bit. J.C. Jackson was talking about how he's not not pleased with his own performance, and he's pretty upset about that. It's really disappointing to him that he's not doing so well. And like we were just saying, he really just needs to get that confidence back, and because
Mhm.
clearly right now, I mean, he's doing pretty piss poor. Like you look at
Yeah.
his stats and stuff like that, and it's just like, oof, that is not. This is not the will the JC Jack the real JC Jackson please stand up? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Yeah,
exactly. Well,
yeah,
the one thing too, I don't think Geno Smith's going to kill you with his arm
mm,
downfield. So I don't see him as one of the top arms in the league. I see him as one of those guys that's just going to play safe, game manager based type quarterback that will just throw some dink and dunks on all you day, all day on you. I can't talk for some reason. But the thing about that is that fits well for JC Jackson's game.
yeah,
So he
yeah,
could
exactly.
play a lot more man press type situations, and he could just play really tight on receivers. And I think that's where Brandon Staley needs to go back to that. And once again, I'm going to say this: I think the coaching staff and I think Telesco is watching our podcast because we always talk about certain things on here, and then ends up happening. Either that, or we're a part of the team. Maybe we're secretly a part of the Chargers, and we're the ones pulling the strings in the background. But I think this is a game that JC Jackson could really fit extremely well for his game. As long as they just keep him in man coverage and just keep him in that position. Don't let him play this off coverage or anything like that, because for whatever reason, he just doesn't try that much. And I think it's something he just doesn't fit into very well.
Yeah,
So I'm expecting him to do well. I was hoping that was going to happen in that Bronco game. It did not. Now, this is a game that I think could be his get right game. Watch him when he gets a pick, when he gets a couple batted passes in a game, you'll start seeing that confidence come back.
yeah,
And I get it. I get it 100%. You got to think in baseball, like a guy who's 0-28 and all of a sudden he gets a one hit. That one hit just gives him that little bit of confidence. Next thing you know, he goes on a tear for 5 hits on 10 met bats or whatever it might be. He starts just going on tears. And so he just needs to find those momentums. He's only got one pass defense so far this year, but once he gets that little momentum going, you'll see him change and shift. So it's a
yeah,
confidence thing. I think he said today that he just feels completely but what do you say? Not disappointed, but basically he feels completely just
um,
demolished or something like
no,
that or
yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah. What's the word? Shoot.
Man, I can't remember the word that he said, but it was like
Yeah,
he just basically just felt just completely defeated. He felt
yeah,
defeated.
that's it. Yep, yep,
Yep. And so, just give him a couple shots and watch. He'll make it happen. I think
yeah,
will he be on a short lease if he gives up a big play? Absolutely.
yeah,
They'll go right back to Michael Davis at that point. So
yep. Yeah. On that note, follow up question. Vato had a good showing on Monday, and looking at his stats, and yeah, he definitely did.
Mhm.
He only gave up 5 yards. You know, in the
Nice.
second half. There was 2 targets his way, and they caught one, and it went only for 5 yards. There was nothing after catch. He literally stopped them right at it. And that was
Yep.
on the contrary. J.C. Jackson, they had 3 targets his way,
Yep.
and he gave up 86 yards in total and 17 yards after catch. So
Yeah.
and
Not good.
yeah, it's not good at all.
Yep.
So yeah, Michael Davis, I think he did say early in the off season that he was actually feeling much better about himself and his own confidence. Like at the end of the
Yep.
year, he was actually struggling with girlfriend situation or something like that,
Yep.
and that never ends well,
Right.
with stuff. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on Vato? You have any other
Yeah.
things? Yeah,
Well, and that's a perfect example of what JC Jackson might be going through. I don't really know what's going on with him
true.
personally or anything like that. I know his Instagram's clean wiped and he just randomly puts stuff up on his stories.
Oh shoot.
Um, but maybe he's just going through some mental shifts. And I'll give you a little bit of a story on some players that try to get out of their comfort zone. And so there's some players that end up that are like high quality basketball players. I can't remember the player's name, but maybe it sounds like I'm making up a story, but I remember this guy that actually did a lot of coverage for high school basketball in the LA area. And this one high recruit, he got he got picked up by, I think it might have been like Syracuse or something like that. So he
Yeah,
was way upstate New York, high end kind of guy. Ended up going out there to play basketball, just played like garbage because he's from LA.
yeah,
And so going from LA to Syracuse is a massive difference. He's away from family. He's in a completely new zone, new area, cold weather, just hard for you to make that transition.
right.
You would think that going like a guy like JC Jackson going from New England, terrible weather to just perfect weather all the time in LA,
Yeah,
that he would be able to make a good switch. But sometimes these shifts just make you not feel very comfortable because you
true.
feel like I don't really know my place here and I feel really out of sorts. I really can't focus on my game that well. For some reason, I just feel really just scared to be here, possibly. And I've had friends that have moved from smaller towns into LA and they just, man, they get consumed there.
Yeah,
And it's very, very hard for them to make that transition because it's too much going on. So maybe that's kind of what JC Jackson's going through. Maybe it's just a little bit of an issue of just being out of sorts, more or less, with his living situation and just being in a new area that he's uncomfortable with. I
sure.
don't know. That sounds silly. That sounds extremely silly, but at the same side, it is absolutely true how it works. So that's something that I think that might be out there. But I mean, the thing is, though, in preseason, he was doing extremely well
Yeah,
in camp. I mean, he was looking like J.C. Jackson, the guy that we signed $82.5 million to,
yeah,
and we were thinking it was great. Now, once again, that's all practice, completely different being in a game, but that's something that I'm trying to remind myself that he's got talent. It's just he needs to find his confidence back somewhere or another.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. I mean, clearly we know that he has all the talent in the world. He's an
Yep.
all-pro corner. Um, but that's just a worry that maybe he just needs to find that confidence. Or as I was thinking, he gave up his magic bone.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it was. Maybe it was
It,
the ankle
it,
bone that got
it,
pulled out. Dang
it's
it.
a magic bone, bro.
Can we
So,
put that back in? I don't know. We need that
yeah,
was his strength. Yeah.
yep,
So I don't know. Who knows? But
yeah, who knows?
just he needs a confidence couple plays and then he'll get it back at it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. All right, we got Aether's question here. So, here you go. So, what is Seattle prepared for our offense? Because Seattle is not Denver, but and it's like we talked about a little bit. Their defense is definitely uh, leaving a lot of holes open for us. I feel like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, their safeties in and linebackers are the ones that are the most sus for us, I
Yeah.
believe. So, but yeah, they're Woolen is still pretty dang amazing.
Yeah.
Nwosu is doing pretty good. And their nose tackle is actually doing pretty dang good as well. So
Yeah, Diggs is a pretty solid corner for them too, and he's had some good years. I think he's kind of having slightly a down year this year, but it is just a tough thing because when you start looking at just if I'm basing stats, I mean, we could have a massive output with our offense this week.
mhm.
There is a little bit of a threat of a pass rush, which they've gotten 14 sacks already this year, but our line has been pretty good. Last week is our worst game that we had. On I think we gave up 2 sacks,
Yeah.
which is still really good, and I think we're averaging maybe a little bit over 1.2 sacks per game. So I'll take that all day with a line that adjusted quite a bit through the game. I'll take that all day. So I how Seattle's going to be prepared for our offense, man. You know, our almost our worst. I'm not trying to sound like a hater here either, but I think everybody really feels like Lombardi is kind of holding back this offense too. So, so I think that's something that we got to think about. That we just need to make sure our play calls are good too, and how we can prepare for them and how to light them up. All right, once again, I think this is a great game for us to be able to run a ton on,
Yeah.
and I think it's a great game for us to be able to look some downfield throws. I want to see some Herbert downfield Herbo bombs, please. We need to see some more of those. I know he's injured and everything, but I think at the same side he's doing well and he's gutting through his injury. And I don't think it's as bad as he thinks or as some people think. I don't even think it's a topic of discussion sometimes now.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to have a hard time stopping us because I think they have a lot more of a suspect defense all around. So
Yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree.
yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like if they're gonna prepare for us in some way, I mean, clearly they're gonna try and rush Nwosu and like really just kind of pressure Salyer a lot to make the
Yep.
blocks, because I mean he's still the newbie, the rookie there, and didn't really get as much reps at the left tackle position there, and then also left guard. It's like that's going to be their vulnerable spot, to basically probably hit that. I believe it's called the A gap in between the left guard and center.
Yep.
They're going to hit that gap a lot, I think. And then when it comes down to it, too, like I mean, hopefully Keenan Allen is playing because clearly we need a lot more help in our running the receiving core.
Yep.
Because obviously Palmer's a tough situation. Carter's actually been doing really well, but like they're gonna Woolen is definitely. I think he's definitely gonna get a pick on us, though. Sorry to say that. I mean he's lights out right now, So
He's doing well. He's
yeah,
doing well.
so that's kind of like what I think that the Seattle defense is going to like focus on the most. Those vulnerable spots that we got right now.
Yep, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I think for our offense can be better, and I think this game could be a bigger um, outpour of
Yeah,
offensive points this week. So,
I agree.
UCF Jaguar, what up, bud?
Oh, you see if Jaguars in the chat. Oh, didn't mean to press that.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah.
Let's see.
I actually kind of want to bring up UCF's Jaguars question too, and he's saying
Go
that
for it.
how the Seahawks are the definition of a winning organization when they win when everybody thinks they suck. And I mean, man, like that's the same thing I thought about them going into the season. I was like, man, they're gonna get smoked this season. Geno Smith, your quarterback, that is laughable. Like,
Right?
wow. I mean, Drew Lock is your backup. I mean, Drew Lock, really, we've played him many times, and man, he's not that good. But at the same side, dude, Pete Carroll knows how to coach a team. Like
Yeah.
that guy is a stud. Like, dude, a very experienced guy. Going back to the Patriots, being head coach years and years ago, to basically being USC, winning multiple national championships, albeit maybe a little bit of cheating going on there.
With the asterisks there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he made it happen. And
That's
then,
right.
he went over to the Seahawks, won one Super Bowl, got to another. the guy just knows how to play. He's just an experienced guy and he knows how to win. So, he's definitely showing to me that Russell Wilson, if he doesn't get any better, um, I mean, they have fleeced the Broncos for picks and for players, and they show that Russell Wilson could just be a system guy. So
Yeah,
crazy. And then Geno Smith is
super
just
wild.
fitting perfectly right now. I mean, like I said earlier in the show, his stats aren't too far off from Herbert. So weird. Weird to
Super,
even think that. And even
super
say
wild.
that is even strange.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of makes me, kind of makes my skin crawl a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's
Right.
weird. But I mean, the thing is that Geno Smith was under a lot of different good quarterbacks too, and he learned from them. So
True.
I mean, he was under with us with Philip Rivers. He was
Yep.
under Why do I want to say Manning for some reason?
Was he under Eli?
Was it Eli Manning? I don't know why my brain going dead here.
I don't know.
Obviously Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was with the Giants in 2017. So Eli Manning. So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
um, so he's been with some good quarterbacks and guys that are potential Hall of Famers. So
Right. Right.
so he's learned and he sat and learned. He's been that clipboard holder this time, and he's absorbed. So
Oh yeah.
and he was a first round pick, I believe, years ago too. So I mean,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
changed him is that he got socked in the jaw and broke his jaw from that punch with the Jets. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's how it all changed for him. So
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I mean, everyone's got a solid plan until they get punched in the face.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he's a second round pick. For some reason, I always thought he was a first round pick. It was an
Ah,
early second round pick for
got it.
him.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
But
All right. All right.
cool. Any other questions?
Yeah, we had a couple more. I think we'll just wrap it up with these last little ones. From
Cool.
Pablo again here.
Pablo going.
Do you see Donald Parman having a big day against the Seahawks? He looked good against the Donkeys on Monday, right? On Monday night.
But then he got another concussion, and so it makes you concerned a little bit. And it didn't seem like it was anything like major. He just kind of like fell to the ground. It didn't look like he like slammed too hard on the ground, but
Sure.
he got a concussion from that. So I wonder with the new concussion protocol if they're going to have to keep him out, because I don't. It seems like they're very, very, very sensitive to anybody having concussions now.
Yeah.
After that Tua concussion, so. Who knows if he's going to play? I would love to have him be out there because he is a great size addition to our offense, and we
Right.
need size right now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Exactly.
even if you look at Monday night, there's a lot of small guys out on that field. DeAndre Carter, Bandy couldn't really fit in because he's a small receiver. Mike Williams really was the tallest guy. I mean, Joshua Palmer is a relatively tall guy, but he kind of looks a little bit smaller on the field than like a Mike Williams. So I would love to have that additional size out there. I mean, Gerald Everett's a pretty good size too, but please, if we could get Donald Parham out there, I think he would be great to be able to have out there for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and like you said too, like I mean, that concussion protocol that they actually are implementing now is like a huge factor because all the stuff that happened with Tua and then of course Teddy Bridgewater right after, like I mean, they have to make some changes really fast to those policies because I mean, it's true what they say. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and
Yep.
that's Parham is like 6'9" or some crap like
Yeah,
that,
he's
So
massive. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah,
Massive size.
I'd love to see him out there, but if he's not, 100%, don't put him out there. I don't want to
Yep.
see him, doing the what happened last year with KC with him again, So
Yeah, that was
yeah,
scary.
yeah.
That was scary. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
hope that doesn't happen. So
Yes, sir. No, sir. And then going back to our last little stuff about Vato here, it looks like he's locked in. Plus, this is his second year in the scheme. I think he has earned more playing time. What do you guys think? Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, I really feel like, James, Andrew, and I were talking about it a little bit today, and like we think that they should actually rotate, JC
yeah.
Jackson and Michael Davis there, and really just actually kind of, get both of them rest or whatever like that, get them both out there playing. I think that'd be great. That'd be
Yep.
super smart. So
Yeah, and it's kind of a hard thing. I mean, initially going into the season, obviously you paid a guy $82.5 million. He's going to get the nod to start,
Yeah.
and I think I want to say Michael Davis is our second highest paid cornerback on our team,
Right.
and he's kind of been pushed to the fifth position for this team. Now he's kind of going to be that guy to step in if J.C. Jackson doesn't do well. So, it'd be interesting to see if they do want to play a little off coverage. Would Michael Davis be the guy that they'd want to have him out there? So maybe they're going to
Right.
just kind of do a little thing depending on the type of play call. They could kind of rotate him in and out. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense to me. And it gives JC Jackson a little bit of break, maybe gets a little bit of extra coaching on the sidelines, tell him what to do or what to not to do.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, that's the thing. But I mean, if we kind of look at that, I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. And I like Michael Davis a ton. I think he's a solid cornerback for us. And we'll see. I mean, if JC Jackson balls out, he ain't gonna get any playing time. That's for dang sure.
That's for dang sure. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, sir. Well, I think that about wraps us up, actually.
Cool.
So yeah, it was
Excellent.
kind of a quiet night, but it's all
Yep.
good. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people are still kind of thinking, hey, it was Monday night was just basically
Yeah,
a
and
night or so ago,
that yeah, and that really threw me off too. I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
it's already like
So Wednesday.
it started Wednesday. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, shoot, like we got to do
It
this,
r
we got to do all these things. What the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
It felt very much scattered all of a
Hmm.
sudden to be able to try to think, holy smokes, we got to get out there and do some more content on the next game already. How
That's
quickly we
right.
got to shift our brains.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Um,
like, so of course
but
I'm not too opposed to that. I mean, like, all right, the game's
no,
over. Let's go to the next one, Just like
yeah. But then it sucks when we go into the bye week next week and then we have to wait forever for a game. We're
oh
like,
yeah.
ugh,
Yep.
the worst.
So
But
we'll have a whole lot more to talk about then and just really figure out what we can do and like I don't
yep,
know, I think that could be a good one where we just kind of examine the other play teams, like something
yep.
like that. I don't know.
Yeah, mid-season grades,
Yeah,
kind of things that we should do or where the Chargers suck and where the Chargers are good, kind
that's
of
right.
thing. So
Yep.
So we'll talk about that and yeah, that when it comes up. But we got a game ahead of us, and so excited for this game this weekend. It should be great.
Woo. Yeah, it'll be a good one.
Let's
Uh
go.
I will say this, like my early prediction though is I'm gonna say 20-17 Seahawks though.
Whoa, you're saying the Seahawks are
Mhm.
going to take this one?
I think Seahawks are gonna take us. So
Man,
yeah, I don't
that
know.
would not be fun.
It's not gonna be fun going into the bye week, but that's kind of
No,
what I'm thinking. Is that like I just there's a lot of uncertainty with our team, like and their team too. I don't think it's gonna be a very uh that's my thoughts on it, man. I feel like I'm worried. So
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, they're you don't want to go in there and just go ahead and throw out. I guess you think every team that you could just kind of walk past, kind of
right,
thing, and I think that there's a lot of teams that we've done that many times with, and we just let them roll us. And so I know right now the betting odds right now the Chargers are 6.5. They're saying it's over under is 50.5, so it could potentially be a slightly lower scoring game. We all know Vegas has some sort of play on how these games work out.
yeah, right,
Um, but I'm not really to throw a score out yet. I want to see how the week kind of boils down for all of us. But
okay,
that's something that I do think that it could be a little bit closer. I do think that it could potentially be a 3 point to 7 point difference between win and loss. So
okay,
so we'll see. We'll
yeah,
see.
we'll see,
I don't
we'll
want to jinx
see.
the game either. So
Hey. Well, you know what? I mean, like I said, like I'm thinking about taking off Kenneth Walker because I don't want to be like rooting for him to score points when they're playing against my team that I want to win the
yeah,
game. So
yeah, no doubt. No
yeah,
doubt.
yeah, yeah,
No doubt. I get it. I mean, I hate playing against my team and playing players against my team. And I'm like,
yeah,
so tough. So
yeah,
tough.
yep,
So
yep.
well, cool. Let's wrap up the show here, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for your guys' input. Once again, guys, bolt up, don't punt. You know, Church of Staley t-shirts are going to be coming soon. We'll keep you guys posted on that.
Ah.
But yeah, check out our shop, by the way, on Zazzle. I believe it's in our link in this video too.
Mhm.
We got a bunch of shirts and product there that you guys could take a look at and everything too. So it's
Yes,
great
sir.
stuff. So once again, guys, I'm James. This is my bro Kyle.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Bolt Bros, we're out. Let's
We out here. Let's go.
go.